You ever notice how some things in families are like a universal script?
Oh, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
the whole when to sleep, when to be on your phone thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's the stuff no one really talks about seriously, but we all kind of live it, right?
Right. It's like those unspoken realities of living under one roof.
Exactly. And today we're looking at that through this really cool lens.
Okay.
So picture this short, almost diary-style video where someone's capturing their negotiation, let's call it, with their mom.
Uh-huh.
On the surface, it's hilarious, full of these little frustrations we all recognize.
Imagine.
But then you see these deeper things emerge about generational differences and how those household rules get kind of bendy.
Absolutely. What seems like a little disagreement about wake up time or phone time
Right.
actually touches on some big stuff about families, like boundaries, expectations, even like who's really in charge at different times.
So true. And this video breaks down into 3 mini-acts. That's what we're going to explore.
Okay, cool.
First, the dramatic morning wake-up think pronouncements about the day being wasted.
I've been there.
Then late-night screen time showdown, full parental lecture mode.
Classic.
And the kicker, the twist, mom's got some late-night habits of her own.
Oh, that's
It's
interesting.
like a little journey into these everyday family dynamics you'll probably relate to.
Yeah, like a little microcosm of multi-generational living.
Okay, so scene 1, the morning wake-up.
All right.
Our video person is enjoying sleep alarms going off. In comes mom with a performance.
Oh, boy.
It's like a vocal announcement that it's practically midday.
Uh-huh.
The classic comparison to the super productive neighbor who's been up for hours.
Neighbor's always up early.
Right? Sound familiar?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And what's fascinating there is why sleep or sleeping past a certain time is seen as like a bad thing.
It's so true.
It often reflects this historical emphasis on productivity, the idea that downtime has to be earned or is somehow less valuable than, work time.
Right, like you have to be doing something.
Yeah, and you see that emphasis maybe shift across generations?
Absolutely. And the response in the video is totally reasonable, of a bit mumbled like, I need rest.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't register with mom. Then comes the dramatic intervention, the pillow snatching.
Ooh, where?
Played for laughs, of course, but you could totally picture it.
Oh, absolutely.
The person even turns to the camera and says, this is my life. Apparently my sleep habits are ruining the economy.
I love that.
So funny, but it highlights that difference in perspective.
It does, and that tactic of bringing in the external comparison, like the energetic neighbor, it's a common parental strategy.
Yeah,
It's often meant to motivate, but it can come off as judgment or pressure, creating friction instead of, inspiration.
so true. So we have wasted time versus the need for sleep. And that sets us up for scene 2, the late night screen time situation.
Okay, the tables have turned.
Right now, it's 1 a.m. Energy levels are flipped. Our person's in bed, phone in hand, maybe on social media or watching something.
Uh-huh.
And in walks mom, now the guardian of good sleep habits.
The sleep police.
Right. That shift in roles is so interesting.
It is, the concern isn't about missed opportunities in the morning anymore, but about the dangers of too much screen time,
Right.
Impacting sleep quality, well-being, all that.
And the lecture hits all the familiar notes. Why are you still up? It's so late you need to sleep.
Yep,
Followed by the reminder of all the important things that weren't done during the day.
of course.
And of course, the threat of the neighbor, again this time as the model sleeper.
Always the neighbor.
It's like a mirror image of the morning, just different activities being scrutinized.
Right. The lecture content really reveals the parents' values.
Yeah.
That focus on productivity downsides of screen time, it suggests anxieties about their kids' future and health, driving those interventions.
And what's interesting is the immediate, albeit subtle, rebellion.
Oh, tell me.
The phone gets put down with a sigh, but the second mom leaves, it's right back in hand.
Oh, sneaky.
What do you think that says about what's going on there?
It highlights the individual's growing need for autonomy and control over their own time, especially as they get older.
Makes sense.
It's a natural pushback against feeling controlled and a desire for that personal space, even late at night.
So we've seen the morning sleep in battle, the evening phone conflict now for the twist.
Okay, the big reveal.
Next morning at breakfast, our video person gently calls mom out.
Uh-oh.
Mentions mom was up like herself, engrossed in a TV show.
Busted.
The dynamic totally shifts in a funny way, But it also brings up a key issue, the double standard.
Right, the rules applied to one generation seem flexible for another in the same house.
Mom's reaction is perfect, a slightly flustered, "Oh, what, I was just unwinding."
Which, let's be honest, is how we all justify our late night screen time.
Totally. And the video shows them both laughing about it, diffusing the tension and creating a little connection.
That laughter is key. It shows that despite the negotiations and the perceived inconsistencies, there's warmth and understanding there.
Yeah, humor's a great way to navigate differences without things getting out of hand.
For sure.
The narrator even adds, "This daily war with Mom, it's a thing, but honestly, I can't imagine life without her."
Aww.
It's sweet acknowledging that despite the frustrations, the relationship matters most.
It really gets at the heart of so many parent-child relationships. You
Yeah.
have disagreements, feelings of unfairness, but the underlying bond is what lasts.
So looking at these three scenes together, we see this recurring theme of almost flipped expectations around sleep and screen time.
Yeah, what's wasting the day in the morning looks different from what's unproductive at night, and the rules aren't consistent.
Right, that double standard is a big takeaway. It makes us think about how fairness in household rules is perceived by different age groups.
And how those perceptions impact family dynamics.
And beyond the rules, the video shows this process of negotiating boundaries in families as people grow and want more independence.
Uh-huh.
It's not always smooth, and humor helps, but it's crucial to figure out how to live together with different needs and perspectives.
Absolutely. Those little conflicts are part of a bigger dance of figuring out autonomy within the family.
Right?
It's about defining your own habits but still existing within the family norms.
So for everyone listening, does any of this resonate with you?
Yeah, think about it.
Have you had similar battles with your own family about sleep screen time or those little household rules?
What makes those conflicts so common, do you think?
It makes you wonder if these daily negotiations, as the video calls them,
Yeah.
aren't just little arguments, but maybe a core part of what holds families together.
That's interesting.
Maybe it's through these funny clashes that we learned to handle different life stages and make our family bonds stronger.
That's a really insightful way to look at it.
What are your thoughts?
Maybe those everyday disagreements aren't dysfunction, but how families adapt and connect across generations.
Yeah,
They become those little, often funny threads that make up the whole tapestry of family life.
I like that.
Me too.